Welcome to another edition of Closet Factory's Operation Reorganization.
We have a jam-packed episode for you today that is bursting at the seams with 7 different design projects.
That's right. First, we'll head out to Yorktown to meet a former military couple turned real estate team and see 3 different designs that Brittani came up with to help them finish their brand new custom homes construction.
Then we'll head to Smithfield to see 4 more projects that Carol designed for her client that include a primary closet, bathroom, mudroom, and a dry bar.
All that and more on Closet Factory's Operation Reorganization.
We are the Johnsons. I'm Shannon, this is Jeremy. I'm from Southern California and he is from
South Dakota.
We are here in Yorktown, Virginia, which is actually where we both retired. We were both active duty Air Force. I served for 20 years and he did 24. That's how we landed here, not once, but twice. And so we loved it so much the second time. Our children actually sat us down and said that this is where they wanted to be.
We have 3 boys, 21-year-old at Radford University, a 19-year-old at the Culinary University of Virginia, and then a 17-year-old who's graduating this year. After we retired from the Air Force, well, actually before we retired in the Air Force, we became licensed real estate agents in 2019, and we started a company. It's just Shannon and I and a marketing person, and we started Journey Home Realty, LLC, and we've been working the entire peninsula for the last 5 years.
I think like most, we kind of just fell in love with the school and the community, and we were very blessed that a lot of our friends and peers retired with us. So we were blessed enough to have the opportunity to custom build this house.
We just lived down the street here, literally. It was our last military move was 4 blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found the land, linked in with Custom Homes of Virginia. We walked into Custom Homes of Virginia and she had a personalized plan that she wanted. What we loved about Custom Homes of Virginia was they looked at it and said, hey, we got a model called the Daniela 2. We think it's pretty close and you can change walls and whatever the case may be. And so we ended up taking one of their models and we nicknamed it the Daniela 2.5 because we made changes to it. We were gonna downsize, right? Everybody downsizes when their kids move out, and we grew like 800 square foot in this house. And she was even telling Brittani that I don't know how I'm gonna fill this pantry that Closet Factory did for us. I don't know how I'm gonna fill this closet or whatever. And you guys will see in the snapshots, they're filled just nicely. So.
Feels very judgmental, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. We had seen a client's house that Closet Factory had done, and this client, I mean, they just have exquisite, just fantastic taste. So I asked her, I said, where'd you have all this done? And she said, oh, Closet Factory. And I was like, I don't know if we can afford that. And so we went and met with Brittani. And sure enough, it was in fact well within our budget. And so then we just built on it. We were super blessed to be able to do 2 of the projects at once, but then we waited almost 2 years to do the last project. And so I could not have been happier. I brought her what every woman does, I'm sure, is I brought her Pinterest shots and I said, I really like these. And she's like, okay, let me see what I can do. And I told her what I was trying to do, especially in the closet and in the pantry. And then of course in the laundry room. And she was able to take all those Pinterest ideas from all different pictures and put something together that is just incredible. I could not be happier. And I feel like it makes me feel chaotic when things are out of place. And I think this just gives everything a place and a home.
Hi, I'm Brittani with Closet Factory. I'm back at the Johnson family home. We recently redid their laundry room. They originally used Closet Factory to do a pantry and a primary closet and called me back almost 2 years later to get their laundry room done.
We had 3 teenage boys, now one's not a teenager. And so for me, I wanted a pantry that was not only functional for all of the lunches that they were making. Also, I wanted a place to tuck away all of our appliances and things like that and keep it out of the kitchen because our home is, our home is very open. And so when you walk in, it's like an open slate for everyone to see. So she started with our pantry and she just created all these little cubbies and these baskets and these drawers.
They decided to do a two-tone pantry to match their kitchen cabinetry. They included a couple of rollout trays here in the middle. In the far back corner here, they've got some baskets, which are great for bags of chips, things that just don't fit nicely on a shelf. On the back wall, they did a tower specifically designed for small appliances. So we made that a little bit deeper and wider than the rest of the sections. They did a really shallow cabinet, almost not quite floor to ceiling, but we ended about a foot off of the ceiling here, but they made it really not super deep because they wanted to fill it with spices. One of their sons is a chef and likes to use his spices, so we built that specifically for him.
The second one was the closet. From being in the military for 24 years and moving and being in base housing to different houses or whatever. I mean, we had so many clothes that were just either stored away, I forgot we had, or whatever the case may be. And Brittani designed an amazing plan that allowed us to have all of our stuff like Shannon said, in a perfect spot. And actually, outside the pantry, I think the closet gets the most love. Most people love the closet and what we did with it.
So the back wall is just a bunch of shelves for shoes, for folded items, a lot of shelving space, really gives you a lot of versatility. Down the left wall, we did adjustable hanging. Since they have 108-inch ceilings, they're able to go up 96 inches. So that adds an extra layer of storage within the paneling. You can do double hanging as well as an extra adjustable shelf. There is a small bench seat here under the window, nice spot to sit down, get ready for the day. We flanked that with a couple of cubby shelves, one on each side, and then we've got double hang on each side of that as well.
We added a tie, is it tie pull out?
Yeah.
Oh, so it actually pushes back so you don't see it, but you pull it out and there's all my neckties.
I did have her create something for necklaces because I just felt like everything was jumbled. And like he said, I felt like you couldn't see anything, right? Everything was shoved away and hidden. She created a space so it felt like, okay, these are all my clothes, these are all the hats, these are the shoes. So you feel like you're using everything as opposed to just being wasteful. When we did the first 2 designs, we were able to go into the showroom, which was nice because Brittani was able to show us our different options, right? We were able to decide what kind of drawers we wanted in our pantry, corner drawers, solid drawers. She was able to show us all the options. So for this last project, so the third one, we didn't end up going into the showroom just because we had spent so much time with Brittani there the first 2 projects. She was very gracious to come to our home and we were able to sit here in our kitchen and design it. When it came to install, what was really nice is how organized it was. So I think us and our builder were really taken back by how seamless that process was and how minimal of footprint that they made during their install. The laundry room was the last room that got any love in this house. So for us, it was just very basic. It was just the washer and dryer and then one wire rack that had become a catch-all for all things. It's narrow but really long. And so I wanted, what do you even do with that? So I called Brittani.
When Shannon called me to come look at her laundry room, the first thing I noticed was one wire rack across the expanse of the entire room. It's a long, skinny room, and one wire shelf is not giving her much storage. So she wanted to maximize the wall space above her washer and dryer and use it as kind of overflow for other small appliances that didn't end up fitting in her pantry. So we used up every inch of vertical space in there and really made it something special. Shannon really wanted to store her laundry baskets in there open, so we left big wide open shelves to store the laundry baskets. And then one really cool feature that she wanted to include was a pull-out drying rack. So we basically build that like a drawer, but instead of being a drawer box, it's a bunch of dowel rods.
I thought I really wanted the Celadon cabinets, which are the greenish, because I love the color green. But I was very fearful to go with an entire wall of green cabinets because I was like, okay, I want it to be timeless, in my opinion, right? That it would transition through the decades. So we painted the walls sage green, and then we went with the white cabinets and gold accents, so it at least added a pop of color as opposed to maybe just being all white.
Shannon and Jeremy are a pleasure to work with, so I was super happy to come back out to their home. And this time, actually, I got to see it all finished. The first time I came out to measure, it was still in the process of being built. So it was really great to be able to see the finished product with their first installs of their primary and pantry, and then start on a new project with them was, they're just a dream. They're a dream couple.
So I think the whole experience has been fantastic. I'm sure we will find something else for them to do.
There always is with her.
Yeah, because I think the organization, I think it just changes the way your home functions, in my opinion. If I had to pick one spot, it would be our office. So we run our entire business from here, and it would be nice to be able to convert it into a guest room. We have a lot of family, and then we have 3 kids. So I have hopes of eventually having, you know, daughter-in-laws at some point, and grandchildren. So I would like to be able to convert that space in more than just an office.
And even if we don't use Closet Factory in the next year or two until that next project, the blessing of the industry of being in real estate, we're able to walk clients through, especially when they're seeing a house, hey, I love this, and we're able to refer Closet Factory, and we'll continue to do that, you know, as long as we're in this business because of the customer service that we've received. So.
I just love seeing how custom installs can be the icing on the cake of a newly constructed home. Now, let's head out to Smithfield to see what Carol came up with for her culinary clients' exquisite tastes.
Hi, my name is Norrell Edie. I am a 22-year veteran. And so what brought me to the area was the military. I came in from South Carolina, born and raised. I joined the military back in 2001. I retired back in 2023. Decided to buy my home here in Smithfield in 2020. And upon being in this home, I decided to say, you know what, let's try to spruce it up a little bit. So I decided to go with a Closet Factory, and that's what brought me to meeting Carol. She came out one Saturday. We ended up sitting down. I believe my first install was the closet that we designed. I decided to say, because in there they had wire racks. So I said, you know what, I don't like that. So it ended up coming into the mud room idea. That's how I stepped into that. One day I was just walking in the door. I was like, you know, I normally have my shoes on this small little rack that I bought from I believe some store, Amazon might have been. But I decided to say, you know what, it's time to change that up. I wanted something to be a little bit more elegant and tailored towards the house. So there I was again calling Carol, and I was like, you know, hey, I'm interested in doing a mud room. What could you possibly provide me in that? From that one, we went back into the bedroom again, which was the master bathroom at the time. Again, I was in there one day and I was sitting around, I was like, I don't like the fact that I have to come out my master bedroom and go into the linen closet in the hallway just to get toiletries, towels, what have you not. So at the time I told Carol, I said, Carol, I'm done. I'm not gonna call you again. And I ended up calling Carol because of that. When we came into the next install, which would be my final one, hopefully, me and Carol sat down and I said, Carol, I want to be able to switch out a bar. So I actually had an older bar that I have in here for a little while. You know, just a little portable, little put together bar. And I said, hey, I wanted to put something in here that's a lot more sturdier, that's a lot more fun. And we came up with another concept. I actually had the refrigerator bought like months ahead of time because I said, this is what I'm going to use, this is what I'm going to do. I could definitely say I wasn't sure what to expect when she brought this to life. But definitely as we went through the designs, she did her measurements, I was immediately like, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Hi, I'm Carol Caruth. I am a senior designer at Closet Factory in Virginia Beach. Today we are in the beautiful historical area of Smithfield, Virginia. I am at the home of Norell Eady. I met Norell a few years ago after he purchased this home. It is a new construction, and as most new constructions go, the developers will just put in your very basic wire systems in the closets. Norell knew upon purchasing the home and living here for a bit that just wasn't going to cut it for him. He is a very stylish guy, multi-talented. He's also very aware of not only needs for himself as far as organization, functionality, but he's very aware of resale value for a home. And he called Closet Factory. He has a very large primary walk-in closet. He also had the foresight to know that he not only had personal needs, but he thought, why not make it to be able to share, again, for resale value. He had decided that we may as well design the entire closet and fill it so that it could suit many people's needs. So that's what we did. This system that Norell chose, because it really matches the decor in his primary bedroom, is our Storm color, which is a very dark gray. It's sharp looking, but he knew he wanted one side to himself. Because he did have a window in the closet, we put this bench with additional very large drawer storage.
With his, of course, there's like jewelry, drawers, also an area for like shoes. For hers, there was a lot more there, you know, for more shoes for her, a jewelry side for her as well. We did some chauffeurs, some belt racks in there, and a tie rack. It's definitely been a night and day going from the wire racks to actual organization with the closet. Doing the initial installs and looking at some designs Carol did suggest that I go out and go look at a few things at the Closet Factory. So I decided to go out there. When I went out there, I was quite surprised to see everything that was available as far as designs, the hardware, the lighting, some of the colors that I had not seen before that were there. I actually enjoyed, and I actually had the opportunity to touch and get a feel for what I was looking for. I actually had a sample piece that I took that helped me put a backing on my wall in my closet, so that was fun. On the day of the install, I had the chance to meet Carlos. Carlos was very friendly. Definitely made me feel comfortable with the way he came in, left minimal footprint in the way he cleaned up after himself and went on. It was a great experience.
Next thing I knew, it wasn't too much long after that, he gave me a call, realizing that he had a need for an entryway storage system. Norell is an amazing chef. He does like to entertain, and he knew he needed a dumping ground for not only himself, but also his family members that come for the parties that he loves to throw. He made his mudroom storage system out of our finish called Brittani, which is basically an espresso finish that he's very fond of. It also matches some of his office components, but he wanted a little color, so I convinced him to use our Celadon, which is basically a sage green, as the countertop for the bench.
When we actually got done with it, that's when everything worked out for me. But as far as the hangings that's there, as far as the spaces for the shoes, spaces for like women's purses or bags, what have you not, that went very well.
From there, I got another call, as he said, realizing the lack of storage in what is a very good size primary bathroom. It has a nice, generous size 2-sink vanity and a shower, but also really no storage other than below the vanity.
So we ended up doing another his and her style with frosted glass, about 4 drawers in it, a storage area, and also had the built-in hamper. That was definitely a plus for me. And that allowed me to put towels, toiletries, and everything inside of it with no issues, no problem.
Then once again, I get another phone call a month or 2 later, and we had already talked about the fact that he needed a bar. We added all the various storage components, as in pull-out trays for his barware and bottles. I convinced him that a drawer would be nice for barware, tools, napkins, candles, lighters, little things like that. We got him the stemware holder. He knew he wanted that. And of course, we talked about lighting. Bars are a really fun thing to light up. I think he's very happy with it. It looks awesome. It looks like it should be in his space. He may come up with another idea that he needs for storage one of these days. So I hope to get back together with him, but he has just been a great person to work with, and I hope to meet with him again.
My time at Closet Factory has definitely been very great. I couldn't ask for a better installer. I couldn't ask for a better designer. Definitely, I look forward to working with Closet Factory again. I'm trying not to call them back again, but you know, hey, who knows? I'm definitely going to end up finding something that they were going to come in and work for me again. But I enjoy it, and I look forward to it again.
That'll do it for another episode of Closet Factory's Operation Reorganization.
We hope you enjoyed seeing the multitude of magnificent projects our designers dreamed up for their clients. From closets to pantries to dry bars and everything in between, we've got you covered to help you maximize your living spaces. Give us a call and see what we can do for you.
See you next time.